was that, well, why did you pick the hero then? You know, if you want to grab like a ranged damage dealer, you've got plenty of those, but Weaver is unique in that you can literally rewind one of your allies back 5 seconds on a 16-second cooldown. That's so broken. It's just OP, you know? This is why you pick the hero. So if you're picking it for something else, why not?
Some players get carried away. Some players get carried away. You have such a good laning stage that you think, all right, boys, step aside, I'm going to carry the game myself. You go for a different kind of a build and it doesn't work out just as well. But Ricky, it's a very early pick. Yeah, and it's a very early pick.
I will say, this hero's been played as 4. Now, this was in the NA region.
Yeah, I'm already losing inspiration.
It was also played as a 4 in the Division 2 matches. So this could be one of those scenarios where, you know, this is how ideas kind of come into form. You see, like... you know, these teams on Mount Olympus are sort of looking down at what the mortals are doing. They're like, oh, that seems interesting. We'll take this, and
but
perhaps we have that here.
You see VP, they ban out the Grimstroke, so what they're expecting is a Ricky core, right? Because Phoenix is your most likely position 4 or 5. Grimstroke could do the same, and Ricky would be your position 1. But, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Ricky support right now. It did have his time, like... Ricky used to be pretty solid on that position 4, but it's long gone. I think we should leave it in the past.
Like the Ogre a lot. You just run at the Ricky, you've got 8 base armor, 1 billion health regen. With the Centaur, this is an old school Chaos/VTJ Storm lane where they would just pick Ogre and like 3 active cores, but specifically Ogre Centaur and Ogre Tide, because they're just so fat. Their model grows so big that you're almost intimidated,
scared,
and then
right?
they run at you in the lane, and you're just like, well, shit, what do I do? This hero has 800 health.
And it's also pretty good with the Weaver having that bonus attack speed, and that bonus attack speed obviously comes in handy versus the Phoenix Sag. You'll have pretty much an additional hit coming from any single hero, and you'll be able to take down that tag. Bloodlust has been changed too. It doesn't last as long, but it gives you more, and Phoenix definitely doesn't like that.
And it fits solo style, right? He just wants this hero that is able to run at his opponents, force a lot of attention on him, alleviate attention elsewhere. We do get Disruptor coming out. You know, he's been looking pretty good so far. I think he's had like 8 games total and he's only lost 1 of them.
Has some decent heroes that he plays against here. You have the Centaur to catch, you have the Weaver to catch. Still, even if you get that Aghanim, you're playing versus a Weaver, they have a way of dealing with your Static Storm with that Aghanim Scepter, right? So it has its, definitely it has its ups and downs here, and positives and negatives in this draft. Puts the Ricky 100% though. Well, still not 100%, but most likely Ricky on that position 1.
So I guess you're looking for someone that can maybe push towers in the mid lane, and VP, they definitely set a late game scenario with the Spectre.
Yeah, but in a way, Spectre is more mid game than I think people give it credit for nowadays, especially because of the cheapness of phase boots. If you go for drums or vessel, what I like is the Necro Book, but it's very good against Disruptor Riki. And the issue you have with these 2 core heroes specifically, and we saw this in the previous game where Secret played, is that their damage output is all burst. It's all burst. You're not really going to ever go toe-to-toe with the Spectre as a Riki. That's just not going to work. So VP have already effectively put VP.Prodigy on a clock. And they're going to need to find team fight and tower push. I think Viper is always an option because since you have this active core and Glimpse, you can afford a slower core, and a Viper against... Like, I just see this as the hard counter. You remove Dispersion, you remove Desolate. Spectre is no longer a threat. Yeah, you need a BKB.
All right, the other side of the coin is you still have a Spectre. You have a 2 melee laning stage, right? Ogre plus Spectre. I don't think Weaver is going to be there. You're playing into a Phoenix Axe, which will have a very solid laning stage. You're playing into a Riki that after Diffusal is already active. Necros have been nerfed a little bit. You have 2 heroes that can hunt you down even if you go through trees. You have the Glimpse, you have the Egg, you have the Sunray, and the Riki hunting you together with that axe. It can be a very difficult Spectre game.
You don't seem happy there, Carl.
No, they just picked Axe, man. Axe doesn't counter Spectre like at all. I love playing Spectre into Axe because ult cancels the blink, the spin does pure damage, which is still reduced by Dispersion, so it's not really any extra effectiveness against Spectre. In addition, you have like that's just more burst. Like where's the kill with the axe, right? And it just there's
I've just seen these 2 drafts played out before, and if Weaver doesn't have a really good game in which he gets that Aghanim fast enough, Spectre can really suffer early on. That's pretty much where I'm coming from. Now for FN on the mid lane, what are you going for? There's DK still in the pool that hasn't been banned out, and you see that VP also banned out that Razor, so they might be eyeing
Viper.
that too.
If it's Viper against Centaur, you remove return. Come on, you got a Viper. If there was ever a game for Viper, it's right here. You've got lockdown.
We just saw a Viper.
You need somebody.
We've seen WePlay it.
We is not the person I would want to see on Viper. There's what's that guy? He used to play Viper all the time.
There's been a few of those.
Nah, his name rhymes with Lumba, and he used to play Viper all the time. No. I'll think of him later.
Yeah,
no. He must be gone. Haven't heard of him in a while.
Anyway,
have we seen him maybe play in this tournament? Was
we might have.
Was he successful?
I bet he could have played that Viper.
Possibly. I do like it as an idea as well, because like you've got the counter initiation of the axe when you pop the big combo, right? And there's a lot to cover this Riki right now, because we've seen Ricky's trip up if there's not anything to maybe create a distraction for them or protect them.
Yeah, they're VP.Prodigy, they have some solid team fight, but I think they have to hunt the Spectre after the laning stage. Yeah. That's pretty much your game plan. Just constantly put pressure, move with that Riki with the diffusal.
Did you watch the new Jurassic Park? You know they have that gun and it shoots the thing, and then the Indoraptor will charge and attack it. That's what you got to do. You just put this little tracking dot in the Spectre, and then you send your axe at him. My concern is I would be much more comfortable with the Prodigy lineup if they had a more clear 1-2 kill combo. So in theory, Disruptor Riki will be able to find a kill if you blow everything, but axe plus what? You know, I really wish.
So you wanted some Skywrath.
Yeah, when I saw Axe work, it's with the Skywrath. Something that's just oh, we got that guy, he's dead. Because Axe doesn't provide damage. So you get the Necro, which I like. It's another green hero.
But the bat is also a really good answer.
Dude, this VP lineup is so sick, and I feel like they've got all the answers. Riki Necro have to end with a combined death total of less than 3.
Really?
Yeah, so far, for me, VP.Prodigy, they definitely have their upsides. Necro will have a difficult laning stage after that. If he itemizes correctly, he can stand against them. But, man, this Weaver is, for me, is the X factor. If he gets that tags online fast enough, if you jump in with the Axe, even with the Static Storm, even with everything that you're bringing to the table, even the sight won't be enough for the Spectre.
So do you think you shut down the Weaver and then that enables Virtus.Prodigy's game?
You just play out your lanes and you try to hunt the Spectre. That's how you play this.
This is bat mid, I believe, as well.
Yeah, versus the Necro, right?
Yeah.
That's how they should
pretty sick. And I don't know. I think this is going to be the no-one show. You have nothing to really deal with BKBs on the side of Prodigy. You can taunt, but I'm just worried about their damage potential. Riki, Necro are both real susceptible to just getting straight up all-in. And if one of these two cores dies on the side of Prodigy, their damage disappears. That's my flaw in the draft. You just don't have enough damage, and you don't have enough sustained damage. No real counter to the bat. Anyone he lassos is stuck in that lasso. And he's going to be bloodlusted, so he's going to run around 600 move speed once he gets bots. It's just such a sick draft from VP. Better team fight, better pickoff, better late game.
Yep. I'm 0-2 so far in predictions. I'm going to go with Prodigy. I'm going to keep it up.
I like
the I'm going for 0-3. I like the catch that they have. I have a feeling they might be able to shut down the Spectre, but 0-3, here we go.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a faithful prediction the side of Virtus.Prodigy. Hopefully our casters can say something a little bit nicer about their draft. Maybe they see a golden light at the end of the tunnel. We've got Nomad and 1437 on the line.
Hello, yes, thank you very much. We're excited to get into this game. It's Papa versus Sun in this Virtus.Pro versus Virtus.Pro Prodigy matchup. Theben, I mean, are you echoing the panel sentiments in this situation?
Well, I believe Papa's about to slap the Sun right about now, so we'll see what happens.
A bit of parental discipline perhaps about to come out, but yeah, I mean, you had your doubts about this Axe pick, didn't you? DM on the Axe versus the Spectre. Is that not a good matchup?
Well, I've seen people pick Spectre into Axe. I've never seen someone pick Axe into Spectre, so that's very questionable. I think Axe loves playing against heroes where his blade mail has extremely high impact. Spectre with the dispersion can negate a lot of that, and her right click isn't her main source of damage, right?
Yeah.
Her tank ability, her dispersion, dealing the damage desolate, these are the things that do the most amount of damage from Spectre, and the radiance and such. So it's a lot of damage over time compared to other carries where it's more about the burst, and Axe can really shine against those heroes. But here, even in the laning stage, it's going to be quite tough for Axe to actually pressure a Spectre.
Yeah, we'll see how DM's able to do down here. And, you know, DM's been one of these heroes who's players who's been around a long time in the CIS kind of tier 2, tier 3 scene. I remember him playing last year with a team called Aachen Esports Club, where he played mid. And yeah, I mean, he always shone pretty brightly to me. So I'm not really surprised to see Virtus.Pro doing pretty well with this current roster of players. I mean, you know, everyone's seen a lot of these players around, and it's exciting to see them all come together and form this pretty damn competitive team. And I think it's worth noting, I think I kind of did the workings out, and basically if Virtus.Pro win this game and there's not any big upsets in the rest of the group, then they should be through to the playoffs. It's still a lot to go, but they should be through. I mean, it's a case of, I think, Team Spirit. Oh no, Fly to Moon would have to lose to Bait, and something else would need to happen, which is extremely unlikely. So anyway, let's get off to this laning phase. Up in the top lane, we're going to have Ein and Epileptic Kid on the Riki and the Disruptor versus Resolution on his Centaur and Zayat's on position for Weaver. How should this lane go?
Well, I think Ricky's going to have a very tough time. Ricky can't actually hit the center that many times, and the Retaliate going to add up. The moment that the Ricky jumps in, he's going to get stunned up by the Hoof Stomp and then get right-clicked a few times, unless he dodges it with the tricks of the trade. But sometimes that's just not possible. So I think that Resolution is going to have a jolly old time in the top lane. The only situation where I can see some turnaround happening top is if he dives on the tower and they get like the first
get really low in the bottom lane. Solo trying to chase him down here, might just be able to get him, but he's got the Fairy Fire under the tower. Will be okay. The tower armor helping him out a little bit there as well. Ooh, nearly getting run down though. Ogre Magi, a very, very tanky hero, just able to keep on chasing save through the burn, through everything. And now at this point in Bloodlust, able to blast LTW's right click up a little bit as well. So we'll see how this bottom lane goes. But so far, so good. LTW farming up fairly nicely. DM doing the same. And Solo nearly getting killed save there, forcing out that south. But yeah, it's looking to be pretty even to start things off.
Yeah, he's going to have some nice regen bottom with the Soaring coming up soon as well. And the Bloodlusted Spectre, it's so nice for a Spectre. It's going to amplify its farm a lot. And I've watched Solo play this Ogre for so many years now. I know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to max out Bloodlust. He's going to follow his Spectre around the entire game and just keep Bloodlusting him. And just give him that amplified farm and just get him super fat. And that's essentially going to be the game plan, right? Like, the Spectre is going to be rather strong. The Necrophos shouldn't be a big issue in this game for him, considering there is a Bat Rider that can counter the Necrophos throughout the entire game.
Yep, be strong, my carry. Do you think we'll see an early point in Desolate, perhaps, for LTW this game, since he does have that Bloodlust that might give him a bit of solo kill potential in the right situation, or is that just not something you really level up on?
Well, it's definitely possible. A lot of these carry players play off field more than like a set, something that they want to do every game. I think if he gets very low HP, we'll probably just see the Dispersion getting leveled up, so he can tank a little bit more, farm a little bit more.
Has to jump away up at the top lane, but it's actually at mid where the first blood happens. He brings down FN, dies to the tower afterwards due to Ein's TP in. My goodness, action happening across the lanes, both top and mid. And it is actually... Okay, so we haven't actually talked about this middle lane yet, and that's a very stark reminder that we probably should. But basically, the Bat Rider runs under the tower, gets the kill onto the Necrophos, and then ends up dying. But Iron did TP in. Oh my goodness. That's just it's starting to kick off. We've had 3 minutes of silence, and then the kills start coming on in.
Yeah, so FN like had a bunch of stacks and the Bat Rider started diving him, and he called for TP from the Disruptor. Disruptor TP's mid. Now, normally you shouldn't TP on this mid lane situation because now you're essentially forfeiting top lane by doing so, and that's exactly what happened. This Riki was left alone, got dove by the two heroes top lane, and now he's also put behind. He's only got 9 last hits to Resolution's 26.
Jesus. Yeah, this is a really bad top lane for Prodigy.
Centaur is such a good hero against Riki, and also later in the game, if the Riki does jump someone, so Centaur can easily save them with the Stampede. Like, throughout the entire game, it's gonna be so difficult for this Riki to try and farm in the lane that Centaur's in. And most of the time, what's gonna happen is the Centaur's just gonna kick this Riki out, take the tower, and then just AFK, park himself top lane, and just keep farming. It's gonna be enormous.
And what can a farmed Centaur do in a game like this?
Well, mid lane first. Oh, okay. The Disruptor gets
I don't know. No one's pretty low here. They might be able to finish the job. The Rockets are coming. A beautiful kinetic field. Iron will get the job done.
Yeah. So we were saying, like, the Centaur in this game is going to get a Hood, is going to get a Vanguard, is going to become unkillable, and then probably finish a Pipe because there's also a Necrophos in this game. And then with all of that on top of the Spectre, with how tanky he's going to get and that Radiance, is going to be extremely scary.
Yeah, these the kind of just tanking up your team business, which Resolution's going to get to in a minute. Definitely going to put them in a great position to take these team fights and also help counter out this egg a little bit, which, you know, you look at this team, they've got maybe the Weaver to try and jump in and deal meanwhile. Talking of which, Save's actually really low here, but he's jumping forwards. He's quite aggressive. Zayats, yeah, they're on top of him right now, but the dagger comes cutting through from RTW. They want to get at least one kill from this, and they should be able to do so. DM not really able to put up much of a fight against the Spectre, so that is just going to be a straight up trade. And to be honest, RTW gets the solo XP. I think you're going to be pretty happy with that if you're Virtus.pro.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I really like what VP is doing here. So they had the Ogre Magic supporting bottom, right? And now that Weaver doesn't need to help top anymore, Senta can just pretty much free farm there, and the Disruptor has moved middle for the VP.Prodigy to like help the Necro. They shifted the Ogre to the mid lane, and then they shifted the Weaver to the bottom lane, because the Weaver middle isn't going to do much, right? To like help fight against the Necro Disruptor. But now suddenly an Ogre that's bloodlusted can definitely do a lot in this mid lane, especially since Ogre does have the stun as well with the Fire Blast. So I really like the rotations from the supports on DP side here to counteract this Disruptor just going middle, trying to cover FN from like not dying or counter some kind of initiation from the Bat Rider.
Yeah, that's Bat. He's going to be a plague on this game. I mean, it feels like every lane just feeling really, really nice for Virtus.pro currently.
Yeah. But Axe here, though, like, DM's Axe is not doing that bad. He's got phase boost.
No,
he's got,
not.
like, he's doing pretty well, to be honest. So.
I mean, he's doing very well, actually, versus Spectre. So a bit of an upset here, perhaps, to his laning phases, contrary to what all our analysts predicted. LTW is doing okay, but, you know, it's really once things get going, and we'll see if the Axe is able to give his team the options to kill the Spectre later on. Can they hunt it down? Can they get the kill? They're over towards mid. They're looking for a fight here. FN's going to be the target, but the Glimpse is actually going to stop the Firefly, keep it on coming onto FN, but he gets him just inside, and in goes the lasso. They actually get the kill, but he will die in response, but Iron getting run down by LTW, and Solo coming in with the stun as well. That's going to be another kill going the way of Virtus.pro. So a bit of a mess in the middle lane as they dive deep under the tier 2 towers, Virtus.pro, but it does result in a kill onto that Necro and a little side helping of Disruptor death as well, which we always like to see.
Yeah, that could have been really bad if FN actually got his ultimate off onto no one there before the lasso came out. He was actually going for it. But, you know, it could have been a completely different story, that's for sure. And the thing about DM, like, in this lane bottom, the laning stage is always going to favor the Axe in the sense that he can pretty much farm. Like, you can't really pressure the Axe with the Spectre, but it's what happens later and the amount of impact that an Axe can have later into the game. That's going to be the big factor here against
Exactly. It's the point I was trying to make as DM. He's on the run here. This is... I mean, it's looking like a bit of an awkward one right now, but they're keeping on going. No one's just like, towers? I don't care about those.
I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen no one do plays like this. This is the first time.
Run someone.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he just casually died, TP to the ball lane, ran after someone, like, now he's running back mid lane. He's kind of playing, like, the supporty, like, mid lane, which is kind of what Bat Rider is, but at the same time, you don't want to really fall behind.
Rezo getting jumped on here. Sunray doing a lot of work, but Epileptic is seeing these TPs and decides to get himself out. They've got a couple of low health heroes, and Zayats is coming over, looking to get some right clicks off, but there's not really much of a response here. They don't have the Stampede up just yet, so the chase potential is limited, but maybe they can look towards Epileptic if he gets a jump away to Iron, so it's going to be okay for now. Keeps his distance.
Is a Hood Centaur at 8 minutes what you want to gank? At this, like, I don't think that's happening. And now there's a blood loss on him too. Like, it's looking mighty scary in the top lane. I think what you gotta do with this Centaur is, like, you gotta understand you can't really kill him at the moment unless he dives your tower, Necro TPs in, you ult him, right? The best person to probably kill at the moment is probably just like either you pressure Spectre or you go after no one because he's already died 3 times. So you might as well try to kill him.
Lasso out into the bottom lane, going on to the Axe here. Resolution coming on over. He's got the stun as well, and it looks like between them, they will have the damage. DM tries to get off the Berserker's Call. It gives him the tankiness to survive for a little bit longer, but Resolution cuts him down with the retaliation.
Interesting. So they do kill DM, which is very nice for VP, but I wonder if that's the correct play considering the Centaur just TP to the bot lane, and now they're no longer pressuring the Ricky top. So this Riki is feeling really good about what just happened because he got like a completely free lane now, and the big bad bully has left his territory.
True, yeah, got a bit of freedom. What's he going to do with it? Well, looking towards the jungle seems to be the option here. They want to try and find ILTW, but he's got his senses sharp, and he is backing himself away, not waiting for that bounty. Meanwhile, no one comes jumping around the side here. Feels like this is a little bit of a feed here, but let's see what happens. He gets jumped in, and yep, Reaper's side comes cutting on down, and no one, he's overrun.
Yeah, and the Centaur is just AFK parked in the bottom lane now. Yep, it's... I think the tides are starting to shift a little bit in VP's favor since the Spectre doesn't really have a lane. He's walking top now, but I'm not so sure if he can actually tank up against this Riki, and he's going to be always afraid the Disruptor's going to come top and, like, you know, combo him with the glimpse too.
Yeah, RTW getting a little bit of freedom to just farm up, you know, making some good movements across the map as well, just keep himself out of danger. So far, so good. No deaths on him just yet, and still a little bit far behind on net worth, but he'll get there in the end. I just want to see Prodigy playing lots of Dota 2, and that's what they're doing right now. They are running at them. They take their mango trees. They see Solo here as well. Solo, he's mad. They just took his mango tree, so he throws out a stun, but he's going to get a ton of spells thrown his way as well. Knows to be careful. As FN continues pressuring on this tower.
I don't know. No one is like he's really like a support this game. He's just like running around sticky napalming people. He actually hasn't really farmed that much at all, apart from like applying a lot of pressure. So let's see what kind of he might. Oh my goodness, FN, what you doing in the river, buddy?
Yeah, he's gonna get fished, and now the Stomp comes in to follow up as well. Virtus.pro surrounding FN, but they're struggling to really get the damage off here, and actually, he pops a Ghost Shroud, keeping himself alive. Meanwhile, in comes the Supernova on the backlines. They've lost Solo. FN now out of spells, just kind of cowering on the side of the cliff, but Zad is able to get in and kill off that Supernova, and now they jump in with ILTW. He finds FN, looks across to Iron as well, and Iron, he's getting run down under the tier 1 tower. Time is up for Iron, and they get themselves a double kill on ILTW. Virtus.pro, Daddy's home, and they smack down their son and get taken that tier 1 tower whilst they're at it.
My goodness, Resolution just had an 11-minute blink hood and just such a perfect a reveal of his blink dagger, netting 3 kills in total for Virtus.pro, and they're gonna feel pretty good about that. Spectre also using his haunt. Now he's very happy to just go AFK in the lane or in the jungle, just hit some creeps, start making his way towards that Radiance, the big farming and teamfight item that he desperately wants to attain.
I was just sitting mid under Invis here. They might look to go on FN again here. They don't have the lasso though. Seems like that could be somewhat difficult, so I'll even be for the time being. A player to kid making his way over. Doesn't have his defusal yet. Is this a little bit of an awkward time now for the Riki? He doesn't really have a lane. He doesn't have a defusal yet.
He's feeling very, very weird about this game because he did not have a good time at all fighting up against the Centaur. So the best thing that they're looking for is maybe get some kills, you know, like on someone since the haunt is on cooldown. I think that's what Prodigy is thinking at the moment. And they also got that dagger on the axe.
Yeah. That's it. DM. Ready to roll. Seeing if everybody shows up mid, but Virtus.pro, they seem too wise this timing. They're like, okay, well, we haven't seen Axe for a little while. I think we know what's going on here. Let's play it carefully. Only person who's going to come out here, and even if Science shows, I mean, Resolution, he's going to be nearby with that Stampede, with that Stomp. Maybe they even turn this into a fight. Solo, yeah, this guy's happy to give his life. I mean, look at Solo. He's just charging at people. He's like, come on, I want you to blink up me, but a nice ultimate coming out from Iron, but actually doesn't catch anybody inside of it. TM tries to jump in, but doesn't actually land. The Berserker's cool, now throws it down onto the center, but he doesn't care. He's tanking. In comes the Supernova. They're trying to deal with him on the backlines here, and Zayat's trying to play around. Will bring it down. Is he going to give his life? No, because he gets a time lapse off. Meanwhile, Lasto out onto the Riki, but they turn around with Reaper's side. No one's going to be the one to lose his life. Riki getting away, but Resolution chases up the high ground and gets a kill in response. Meanwhile, the stun comes out. Modicast onto the Axiom, trying to get himself away. Can he get himself out though? The heals coming through, keeping alive through the urn, but RTW is still healthy in the middle of this fight as they run down the support heroes. Now they look over towards the Axe, and Solo will finish the job. Trades his life for it, but it's a good trade for him. Does he trade his life for it actually? He's fast. He's out of there. See you later. Grand Theft Ogre as he gets the kill and gets himself away, or does he? Save. He's still looking. Sunray is out. He keeps him on target here, but the health regen from Ogre is so ridiculous. Save. He's struggling, and now the multi-cup, and now Resolution. Are they actually going to get this kill? They bloody well might. They're getting him down. Solo does burn up, but they get the return kill onto the Phoenix, so worth it there from Solo. I mean, he just min-maxed his life
yeah, he was just running in, trying to get them, like, wiggling his ass in front of VP.Prodigy, and they just weren't having any of it. And in the end, Axe just completely missed the call, netting in the Disruptor ulti, getting absolutely nothing. So
yeah, that's the sad part. The worst reveal of the blink, but you could just tell. Like, I don't know if they'd seen him on Vision, or if they just knew that DM's gonna. They just said, "Hey, he's gonna have this blink. You know, we're not gonna let him get off a free blink call onto one of us and open up with a kill. We don't want that to happen," and it didn't. And DM just completely outplayed in this kind of first 50 minutes of the game.
It's sort of feeling like Prodigy has been getting outplayed quite a bit in this game because they're getting very antsy in the way that they're moving around the map. They're getting very desperate, like wanting to get some kind of kill, some kind of momentum going into this game. And you can see VP on the map, they're just completely dodging them at this point. Like, apart from no one, they haven't really killed anybody else on VP's side, the Prodigy boys here.
Yeah, there's some juking and jiving going along, and even in the fights they do take.
This could be problematic for VP.
Yep, jumping onto Phoenix here, but in comes a call onto the Centaur once again, and now they drop the ultimate. This time Iron will land it, and with the Supernova backing it up, this could spell problems, but can they bring down Resolution? He's just so tanky, they can't get through the Constitution of Resolution. Meanwhile, Iron trying to get himself away. He's up to the high ground. They're keeping a heavy line here, Prodigy, and they will not be broken, but they also will not break Virtus.pro either. They're pinging out Zayats here, but unfortunately they don't really have much to actually catch him with. DM did have that blink off cooldown, but didn't really want to jump forward onto him.
I think it's bugged because he
had a bug attack him, right?
Yeah, exactly. He had the swarm on the axe, so it wasn't showing for us there. Oh,
they're going on him anyway. The call comes out, nicely done. Alrighty, they find it in the end. A little bit beat greedy there from Zayas, but they're actually still looking for this one. They don't care that their Weaver's dead. They're still going, and Ricky in some trouble. This comes through onto 2, holding them down. DM gets off the call, but is it going to save his life? I don't think so. Although a nice wall from Iron comes out, and now FN comes on in. He's got a Reaper's Scythe. He goes to use it, but gets stunned up by Solo, cancelling out that Reaper's Scythe. The jump in, though, the call, they found the axe, and surely the Reaper's Scythe will come down onto him. It will. A Resolution. They're still looking to fight this one. RTW coming in the backlines, finds a kill onto Iron and looking for more. Meanwhile, RTW, he's not that healthy himself. Iron's on top of him. FN as well. They won't be able to get him down. Yeah, DM looking for it, searching for it. He'll get the call instead on Tioga Magi. It's a small kill, but it's one they will be happy with regardless. They do manage to find a good fight here, Virtus.pro Prodigy, but the fact that their Ricky is still struggling to make things happen has got to be a concern for them.
Well, he does have his Diffusal now, and Necro has 3,000 some gold, so he's getting close to that Radiance. I would say Prodigy are pretty happy with what just occurred, especially FN. Because FN is about to be the highest net worth hero in this game very, very soon.
Yeah, he's going to be the big dog.
Oh, here we go. A Bat Rider. Again, another fight.
In on to Bat. No one making mistakes here as he's going to get picked off eventually. Meanwhile, they get the return trade onto Ironhair. Not a good trade at all for Virtus.pro, though. And now the heals are coming out onto FN. Even though they're doing a decent amount of damage to them, they might need to get him out of here, but the Stampede's coming in. They can't get him out. Now the call comes in from DM, giving Epileptic Kid the space he needs to survive. Look at DM, the hero, dragging the entirety of Virtus.pro off his Ricky and over towards himself. He will die for this, but he keeps Epileptic Kid alive, which is something which they kind of need in this situation, but still, they get the tier 1 tower, but they lose their Necro. And if Virtus.pro just come barreling on forwards here and take the tower in response, then it's not going to be worth it at all for Virtus.pro Prodigy. We'll see what they can do to defend this one. I'm not sure there is much.
I was just praising Prodigy, saying that was such a good fight, and then all of a sudden, without any of their cooldowns, apart from the egg, they just go to the mid lane. It's so weird how no one just like TPs in there, and it was actually a good play.
Yeah, right? Like...
It's because Prodigy threw all their spells onto no one only. And it kind of took them a little bit of time to kill him off. So everybody else on VP had like the freedom to cast whatever spells they wanted. They weren't taking too much damage. And at the same time, like this Centaur is still freaking huge. He's got a blink pipe 19 minutes in with power treads. Like this man's an absolute beast right now.
He's a beefcake, that's for sure. Getting through him is not going to be easy. Need a sharp knife indeed.
And we should mention also that the Necrophos, like, he had a lot of money in the bank, right? So that's like, he's essentially only fighting with like 5,000 net worth until now that he's picked up the Relic. So that's also a big factor going into like how VP.Prodigy should be taking team fights and when they should like farm. And now is a very good time to farm. Just finish your Radiance before you take your next engagements.
Yeah, it's something you need to look at always when you're looking at this little gold number at the top of the screens there. But if someone's actually not spending that money, then they don't have that translated into worth. Meanwhile, Lasso's out onto the axe. He's just being straight up assassinated on the front lines here as Virtus.pro find that pick off, and now looking forward to the +1s. And it's actually ILTW going on to FN here. And there doesn't seem to be much FN can do about this one. The Stampede's coming out, but I'm going to try and help him out. Throws down the ultimate. FN still on the run, but they are just cutting him off, and the stun comes out from Solo. Meanwhile, Save trying to help him out, throwing in the Sun Ray. He's got a supernova if he really wants to commit this one, but knows that he'll just die so quickly. He's just going to accept his death here, I think, and they even find him +1s on top of this. He does throw down the supernova. It's not going to get much done other than lead to Solo's death, but I think Ticket might be a little bit brave going in for this one as he does commit onto it, but now he's dusted up, being beaten down, and this is the Ricky losing his life. Ayn as well, going to be dropping. DM tries to go in, goes for the core hit, doesn't quite have the damage to get through the Centaur, does now drop that axe down on top of him and kills off the Centaur. It's a very, very slight win in the end for Virtus.Prodigy, but I mean, when you look at the total mass and everyone who's died, it's a huge loss for them overall. A 1,700 gold gain for Virtus.Pro in that last fight. Jesus, they are getting sloppy.
Yeah, the chain reactions from there was absolutely insane. I don't even know if the Necro had a TP to like get out as soon as he saw the axe die. But yeah, like that's gonna set him back a little bit. But you know what? He's just gonna go back to a million, start farming up again, get that Radiance, and then maybe get another smoke up running for Prodigy. I can still see
the looking for something, but he might become the hunted right now. That Spirit Vessel doing so much against him as he tries to find something, goes for the cool, catches nothing, and now just gets shredded by ILTW. The Spectre comes in and turns him a new one. Zayats gets that kill. And that's an easy kill onto DM. And with DM being dead, Roshan can certainly be an option now for this Manta Spectre.
Yeah, I mean, if they get this Roshan, then things are going to look real tough for Prodigy here. And we should also mention that the Weaver did complete a Vessel in this game first, before the Aghanims, which I like a lot, especially since he is fighting up against the Necropos. Exactly. And FN like really cannot remove this Vessel in any way until he finishes his Radiance and then gets his next item, whatever that may be. But, you know, this game could easily end before that too if VP keep winning fights like this.
Yeah, they're playing at such a high pace, and now they're going to get the kill onto Iron. It's just a little pick-off, but yeah, still Iron ends up dropping again and again.
And all of a sudden, no one. He's got the Yules. He's making his way to his BKB. Like this guy is like an absolute madman. This game, you know. But at the same time, like
careful, buddy.
Gets items.
He does see Resolution now, but Resolution, he's just going to ignore him. Doesn't really fancy it. Maybe looking for brighter pastures as Save and Epileptic Kid have to swoop their way out off that middle lane. FN, he's going to have to walk back to his base. Yeah, DM's like, take me instead.
FN does have a TP. Like, you're going to TP it out, but he really wants them to bit jump him, actually. Because he's got that Essence Ring, and he's got that Axe to counter-initiate as well. The best way for Prodigy to actually win is if there is a counter-initiation. Like, the perfect counter-initiation with, like, let's say 3-man Axe call or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've got that Axe Phoenix combo. I don't think it's by any stretch over for Virtus.Prodigy. It's hard, and they're playing from a disadvantage into a Spectre at 23 minutes, which is never the situation you want to be in. But there are still options for them, I think it's important to note. But now, Stampede coming forwards. Yeah, they're looking for something. No one just disrupting a play to get on the backlines, but Iron's going to be the first one to drop. DM, though, gets the call, but it's onto the Spectre with the Aegis. I'm not sure how much this is really going to get done. They might be able to kill him off once, but for what? Meanwhile, Supernova comes up, beautifully placed on the high ground here. But unfortunately, the only person inside of it is really Solo, and I don't really think he cares. I mean, he's not even going to get caught out by the stun anyway. Meanwhile, they're doing a hell of a job just sniping out FN on the sidelines here. They will lose Solo, but look at the damage coming through onto this Necro. He needs help, but he needs it now. But right another Reaper Scythe comes in and kills off Resolution. Now they look over towards with the call onto the wing. The bug is down, and ILTW might be heading the same way as well. He's trying to make his way through the trees. Do they have the vision? Do they have the time? Meanwhile, the lasso comes down onto the Necroboss here along with the Spectre ulti. All of a sudden, it's turning again. Prodigy are in trouble. They lose FN, they lose DM, they look towards Save as well. ILTW back in the middle of this fight. It's a cut down Epileptic Kid. Virtus.Pro just come out of nowhere. It looked like it was a 5-1, and all of a sudden, they're just everybody straight back into this one, and they find themselves 3 massive kills and somehow squeeze the rag dry and find themselves a win in this fight.
Damn, that was a really close fight for Prodigy. Like, they were turning it around after the Reaper site. The Necro was starting to heal up. They were going to get the Spectre again after the Aegis. But all of a sudden, Solo flies back. Then the big bad no one comes in with the Firefly and Napalm. Just so much chaos in the fight. Then the Haunt comes out. And eventually, they just fell apart one by one. The Necro just couldn't find the Spectre anymore, who had like half health, and just ran out of gas.
Yeah, I mean, their cooldowns, their resources all got used up, and unfortunately, Iron, he tries to go in for a bounty, and they might actually find the return kill here. He drops the ultimate down, and this is going to be the Weaver trading his life for Iron here. An immediate buyback from Iron. They want to actually try and take a fight here. Meanwhile, they'll get themselves solo. That's a dieback on the Ogre Magi. Important to note. And they're not done. They're looking towards the back of the map. Oh, comes just in time. We even heard the noise, but the child slaps back as Prodigy find themselves 3 kills chained up, one after the other, and they are not done. They're smoking up. They're looking towards mid. I don't think they'll find anything in this area unless LTW gets super duper greedy, and he's got his smart pants on today. He's not going to go and farm anything at mid. Gets himself back, and wow, Virtus.pro Prodigy though, they bite back hard into Virtus.pro.
Oh yeah, and the Necrophos still has his Reaper sight up now, so if they do find another team fight or can fight someone before the Ogre Magic can revive, it's going to be huge because they can put another hero on a big cooldown timer, and every time one of these guys are dead for like 70 seconds, the entire map is pretty much for Prodigy, unless that hero who died can buy back. So it's going to be very tough for VP if they keep dying like this one by one, even if they do have the Spectre.
Yeah, that's the issue. Despite that, she's good, but 1 versus 5, she's not that good. You need a team. Everyone needs a team. Remember that, guys. Next time you're flaming your teammates in your pubs, you need them. They're there for you as you are for them. Let's see. I mean, the thing is, this fight looked great and everything, but there was no Roshan to take. There was no towers to take. There's no pressure, really. I mean, they haven't even really got down many wards, to be honest with you. There's just this one in the top jungle. Other than that, I don't know how much they gained from this one.
Yeah, I think they should have just went to the mid lane and let the Necro push and like kind of just sat behind him and see if a Centaur shows up or a Spectre shows up. They could at least gotten the tier 2, but they really want to chain that kill into another kill. But you know, VP, like, they have 3 heroes dead. That's the time they're really not going to be showing up on the map whatsoever.
Yeah, they will be ghosts, quite literally. Prodigy, they seem to know the smoke is happening. They're hanging back. They're being careful and even smoked up themselves on Iron right now. And he's just going to dangle himself forwards. A little carrot on the stick maneuver as they see Solo here. They don't want to jump him, it seems. He's just happy digging up a... What was that? I don't know what he dug up.
People know that Solo is always a bait, that they just stop like going on him altogether.
Yeah. Maybe in comes the Spectre ultimate. DM is able to jump himself away and actually gets a 2-man call off here. That's not bad. Reaper's Side comes out on the back. Sorry, Lasso comes out of the backlines onto FN, controlling him up, and they actually throw him on the cliff. Meanwhile, on the front lines, and Stampede being used just to keep LTW and Resolution alive. It's a really scattered fight, but FN is just burning up on the cliff. He does get the Reaper's Side off onto Solo before he dies here, but a beautiful play from no one, and now they'll bring down DM as well. I mean, no one actually kind of saved that fight. DM made an incredible play to get that call off onto the Centaur before he got off the stomp, and nearly led to the 2 of their deaths. But unfortunately, their big damage, the FN Necrophos, he got cliffed by no one in the side of that fight.
Dude, that was actually so insane, especially from DM. I have no idea how he did that. He called both the Spectre and the Centaur with the blade mail. He couldn't even blink on him. They blinked to him, and he got it off. So that was pretty epic. And yeah, I agree.
Blink when they blink to me.
Exactly. If this Necrophos gets a Reaper sight on the Centaur or even the Spectre, that fight's over. Like, Prodigy will win that, hands down.
Awkward things happening. But, I mean, no one just saving that fight for Virtus.pro, hands down. Being the godlike player he can be. It really does feel like they're playing at a pretty high percentage effort right now, Virtus.pro. They do. I mean, it's their tournament life on the line, pretty much. Things get really sticky for them if they don't win this game.
Yeah, and this Necrophos about to hit his Yules. That's going to be nice to like either have another disable on VP.Prodigy or just use it to remove the sticky napalms. Like right now, no one is who's killing Necrophos this entire game.
Jumping forward to Ricky. Ricky, he needs a chance to get off some items, get off some trick to trade, get off something, but he's just going to get killed inside. LTW brings him down. Meanwhile, they look over towards DM. DM's going to get dropped as well. LTW rampaging through the lines of Virtus.pro right now. The Supernova going to be used defensively. Just try and bring something down here. Weaver is going to use his life to try and bring down this egg. That won't happen, but nevertheless, it's going to be the only kill which Prodigy have gotten so far. And now the Sunray cancelled out by the Centaur. Save trying to do something here. He needs some help. DM jumps in, goes for the cool onto the Ogre Magi. I mean, it's something, but RTW is just completely unstopped right now. Comes in from the side. It's going to be an easy rampage and maybe even going for the double here as he brings down DM for a second time. ILTW is just completely unstoppable right now, and they're just going to call it. They're done. They just throw in the towel. Daddy, stop, please, no more. I've had enough. They will go to their rooms, and Virtus.pro will be the victors in game number 1.
Damn, that rampage GG.